I'm Rick Kahler, and thanks for joining me today. Well, recently I ran into an old friend who had moved to another state several years ago. In our catching up, she informed me that she and her husband had recently won $1 million in the state lottery last year. She told me that after all the initial excitement, she now wishes that they had never won the money. It's caused more problems than it's worth, she told me. Now, I found this pretty interesting. I've long believed that winning a large sum of money, despite being a dream for millions of people, and going along with a very popular money script that says, more money will solve my problems, well, that all that extra money really is a mixed blessing. And that belief has been supported by considerable anecdotal evidence that I've seen over the years, and her story gave me further first-hand confirmation of that. As we continued to talk, she described the pressure that managing the money had put on her family's lives and relationships. First was the discovery that $350,000 of the $1 million was kept by the U.S. government for taxes. That angered her quite a bit. Before they retired, her husband had been a teacher and she had been a waitress. They never experienced paying more than 10% of their income in taxes, if any at all. They never dreamed that people could pay so much of their income to the government. And the fact of that matter had taken her quite by surprise, especially when I explained to her she was now considered rich. Next came the guilt of having so much money when she and her husband perceived that their kids could use the money more than they could. Their Social Security and pensions came to about $45,000 a year, and she told me that our kids struggle so much, and we have my husband's pension and Social Security, so with the winnings we have more than enough. So another $300,000 went to the kids. So now what to do with the remaining $350,000? Well, this is still causing a lot of stress for them. She decided to wash her hands of making the investment decisions. Her husband's put the money into two various investments, pulling it out of the first one and incurring some penalties. They've not sought out any professional help, although they talked about it. She says, I told them he needed to give you a call. The news here is really nothing new with this couple's experience around receiving a large sum of money suddenly. I've read and heard the same frustrations and sadness with sudden money events time and time again. Within less than 1 year, about 50% of their after-tax proceeds are gone, largely from trying to rid themselves of the guilt of having an amount that they considered more than enough. Of course, there's a lot of money scripts operating here. We don't deserve the money. We don't deserve money we haven't earned. Those are very common. Another one is if parents have money, it's their obligation to help their kids. They've also made an assumption that their pension and Social Security will continue to keep pace with inflation and always be there. A big assumption in today's current market environment. Now, had they invested the $650,000 in a properly diversified portfolio, diversified amongst asset classes, it could have generated $24,000 a year in inflation-adjusted dollars for the rest of their lives. They also would have had a 90% chance of their money never running out and continuing to grow with inflation. They could have also reinvested the earnings instead of choosing to supplement their income. That way, the invested winnings would have provided them a cushion in case their retirement income, Social Security, didn't keep up with inflation, or in case they had a health catastrophe. Then, if they didn't need the money, it would go to their children as part of their estate. Instead, if they can continue down the path that they've chosen, there's a pretty good chance that nothing will remain of their winnings 5 to 7 years from now. And in the meantime, they haven't even enjoyed the windfall. Thanks for listening to me today.